Should we go embarrassing job stories? Because I have a lot of them. Or just good job stories. Just stories that are fun to say.
You know what's you said embarrassing. I want to hear your embarrassing story.
What? I have so many at Petsmart.
Oh, I know one of them at least.
Which one?
The one that you told the woman that you don't know how dog food tastes.
That was a great one. I've totally forgot about that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Really? That's the only one I know.
That's crazy.
Tell that story.
All right. So what happens was when I worked mostly with dog food. I was not one of the employees at PetSmart that worked with the animals because it stressed me out. But I have sometimes what would happen is the person working with the animals would be sick or need backup, and I would have to go do it. That was my job. I was the job of the guy that just had to go do it. If a cashier called in sick, I was cashier that day. But most of the time when other people were doing their damn jobs, all I did was move dog food from the back of the store to the shelf.
Yeah.
I loved that job. I literally was the guy that also had to clean up like poop and pee because in PetSmart they could bring their animals to it.
Yes, yeah.
So, do you know what the code was?
Code blue?
If you're ever at a PetSmart and you hear code 1, aisle blank, whatever, code 1
a dog
aisle,
shit on the ground.
No, 1 is pee.
Oh shit.
And then code 2, aisle 7 is poo-poo. So like
That's
I'd be
so stupid.
And usually I was the only stock boy because it's a pretty slow store, really. PetSmart is people go in, they grab like one thing and then they go, you know.
Most of the time you go into a PetSmart, you're not browsing.
Right. You know what you need. But every once in a while I'd have to talk with people because I was wearing the PetSmart shirt. People would come up to me thinking I knew what the hell I was doing there. No. I was a 16-year-old kid who enjoyed the moments of where I just got to move dog food.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I'm the best person for you to ask. So there was one guy one time. He came up to me and he was like, hey,
I thought it was a lady.
It may have been.
Oh, okay.
Let's go, lady. That's funnier. So this one Karen, she came up and she was like,
so, sir, which one of these 2 dog foods would you say tastes better?
And I looked at her and I slowly said, ma'am, they don't let us taste the dog food here. I don't know which one tastes better. That's a fucking crazy person's thing to say. What is wrong with your skull? That was what I said in my head. What I really said?
Yes.
That one. I didn't care. I didn't give a fuck. If the
Did
dog
you get in trouble for that too?
If the dog complained. No, that's not the one I got in trouble for.
Oh, what's the one you got in trouble for?
So there's this really old dude that came in and
Okay,
he had his dog with him and he was trying to pick out the best Halloween costume for his dog.
What the fuck?
I know, but here's the thing. The old guy, he had arthritis or something and he couldn't figure out how to put the costume on the dog. Okay. So he found me because I was wearing the green PetSmart shirt. He's like, this guy looks like he knows what he's doing. And
you had no idea what you did.
I didn't know how to fucking dress a dog. Like, how the hell would I know how to do that? Like, what does he think I go to PetSmart school? And I'm like, oh, he works here. They must have taken the class on how to dress fucking dogs.
You were so angry right
I have never dressed a dog. This guy was so mad at me.
This happened how old was you? Like 28 years ago.
Yeah. I was 12. I was 12 working at PetSmart, and this old man is screaming at me. He's like, why?
Wait. 22 years. Okay. All right. Okay.
And I was like,
you're still wearing bell bottoms and tie-dye.
Bow ties. Bell bottoms and tie-dye. It wasn't the 70s. This was on a PetSmart time machine. So this guy was so mad at me because I didn't know how to put the clothes on his dog. And I remember him saying to me very distinctly, as if it meant something, but don't you work here? And I was like, where the fuck do you think you are right now? This is not the drag queen of dog shows. Like, this is where this is not a place where you bring your dog to do dress up. Like, that's not where you are. You're here to buy food and leave.
Did you say that really?
No, I didn't have I just cried.
And you dressed the dog.
I just cried.
You dressed the dog, didn't you?
I didn't do it correctly, but he felt so bad for me. He was like, you know what?
I'm going to tell his manager.
I'm going to tell on him. Well, snitches get stitches. And guess what I did to his tires?
Absolutely nothing.
No, but I helped him take the dog food to his car.
Oh my God.
I was pretty new to the job, and I was getting the hang of like cutting pallets open and cutting the plastic down and stuff, so they could unwrap it and then rewrap it. So one time I just slashed it really hard, way too hard. And I sliced every single dog food bag on the pallet, and it's all spilled out down the aisle.
You don't even have to explain it.
Dozens of dog food. Like, it's something you would see on YouTube these days. Yeah. Like, most biggest idiots at work type YouTube video. And the whole aisle was full of dog food. Guess who got to clean that fucking thing up?
It's one of those.
They were so pissed. I know. They were so pissed off.
It's one of those things where you're like, you thought you were having a bad day.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
I'm pretty sure I literally spent the rest of my shift cleaning it. So I showed up to work.
I did not know about.
And they still had to pay me.
Like, they're probably still cleaning it
up. It actually gave me a good idea. So from then on out, I show up to work. I made a mess. I cleaned up the mess up. I went home. I talked about my favorite part of my job was loading up the dog food. But every once in a while, the people were sick and I had to go do something else. Like sometimes I had to put fish in bags.
I know the story. Okay.
Okay. When you go to Petsmart school, they don't teach you how to put a jacket on a dog, and they do not teach you how to put a fish in a bag. They just expect you to figure it out as you need to. Sure. So there were these feeder fish, and feeder fish are just these tiny little fish. You get a bigger fish. They're for food.
They're like a penny a piece.
Exactly. And so you put a lot in one bag. This was the very first time that I had ever done this before. I didn't do it correctly. Oh, I thought of another. I got two stories about probably the same day, actually. So I was filling up the bag of fish. Now, here in my head, what I did was there's a big, long bag. I grabbed the middle of the bag of the fish, and all the fish. You remember the dog food story? It was basically the same, but they were alive and they were wiggling. Here's the thing.
They weren't alive for long.
They were watching me. I knew there was no way that I could get all these fish back in the fish tank and save their life.
So what'd you do? Did you grab a broom and start?
I started stomping on the fish to put them out. I panicked. I wanted to put these poor little fishies out of their misery. So I stomped on them. And now every time I see a goldfish cracker on the kitchen floor, I cry a little.
Well, I knew the story about you dropping the fish. I didn't know that you went Godzilla. And
what would you have done?
I would not have touched the fish.
You just ran away
bottom
crying.
Of my fucking shoes.
Jesus. All right.
Dude, okay. I did not know that part of the story. Continue.
I have another one.
Okay.
Same day. Okay. So I had this was the very first time I ever put air in the bag.
You can't put air in the bag or put fish in the bag.
There's a lot of things that have to go in this bag. You have to put water in the bag. You have to put a fucking animal in the bag. And then you have to put air in the bag because it has to be puffy so that it looks cool when you walk out the door. I don't know.
Like, I got a new pet. Look, it's
maybe
puffy.
the air keeps the fish alive. I'm really not sure how fish science works. But what they never taught me at PetSmart school is how much air to put. And apparently there's a maximum number to how much air you should put in a bag that already has water and a fish in it. I put too much air. It pops like a balloon.
What kind of fish was it?
It was a really expensive fish.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was a really expensive, it
wasn't like 200 penny fish.
It was wearing like feathers in its hair. It had a boa. Like this was like prima donna fish. It was on the floor now. Now, I did not stomp it because I had a chance. I knew there was a chance to save this fish's life.
Okay. So
I picked it up by its tail. I put it back in the aquarium. I looked straight at the people that wanted to buy the fish and said, "Don't worry, I'll get you another one."
That is so bad. Oh, my God. And you still have a job.
Oh yeah, they still. I mean, they were desperate at the PetSmart. Like, yeah, this guy kills animals, but
It kills a lot.
one of these days he's going to start a podcast, and then we'll get a free commercial.